companies helped to acquire just over 300,000 followers in 2023, or just under 300,000 followers for our clients in 2023. Helped our clients reach 5.58 million potential leads, potential clients for their businesses, and helped them save over $275,000 by working with us instead of having an inside hire to do their social media marketing. So we have a little bit of experience with this, and again, our primary focus is with real estate agents and real estate brokers. So we've seen a lot of different strategies. We've tried a lot of strategies ourselves, and so I'm going to tell you what works with it, how it can work with any business to varying degrees depending on what you're needing to do, and we're going to show you how, if you've tried social media marketing, if you don't think it works, this video is for you. I promise you it works. You just need to be doing the right stuff. So guys, let's jump into it. So social media marketing works, you're just doing it wrong. And we're going to talk exactly about that. But let's break it down first a little bit. So first things first, social media is just a form of communication. It's just a platform, just like how radio is a platform, how cold calling is a platform, how Google is a platform, how Zillow is a platform. These are all just different platforms that are designed to help you, a real estate agent, grow, your business, or at least you can leverage these platforms to help you do just that. So it's the same thing as any other platform. They just has little characteristics. The thing that separates Zillow from, click campaigns on Google are just the different little features and how they lay things out. But essentially, they're all doing the same thing. They're trying to drive potential opportunity to you, a broker or an agent, so that you can convert sales and grow your business and help as many folks as you can. So social media is just a platform. So really the question comes down when we're talking about, does a platform work for marketing, into three basic questions here. Number one, is your audience there? Do you have an audience on that platform? Well, we definitely have an audience on this platform. I think it's obviously blatantly clear, but just to kind of give you a proof of concept here, the average, or I should say the percentage of Americans who are on social media is 72.5% of Americans. So that's a ton of Americans, 246 million Americans in 2023 who are active users on social media, right? So these are not talking about the different platforms, but, really once you start to break these down into platforms, you have, this is worldwide, but you can kind of get the idea here is that, Facebook is wildly popular, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all these platforms are wildly popular. If you get in front of your audience on these platforms, that they do actually exist on this audience, I think that's pretty clear. But also on top of that, you also have the most of these platforms cover most of that 72% of Americans. So the answer is yes, they are on these platforms. So first, nugget here is, is your audience there? Yes, we can check that is indeed the case. They are definitely on social media platforms. So next question becomes, can you connect with them? Well, that's pretty obvious with social media, right? It's a tool that's based around connection. So, you can have Facebook followers or Facebook friends or just random people on Facebook that you can reach out to. You can do the same on Instagram. You can do the same on TikTok. You can do the same on YouTube. DMing is available on almost every platform. So, yes, you can reach out to your audience there. You can connect with them through a multitude of different ways depending on the platform that you're using. So we can check that off there too. The next question is it scalable? Well, we're going to dive into that. It's a little bit more of a complicated question, but the answer is 100% yes, especially because of all the different opportunities that social media gives you to target your audience, to reach out to them through paid methods or through methods that are free, but they just end up costing us time instead of capital, right? We most certainly can do that. So let's jump into basically how we can do that, how we can scale this structure for our business. So really, at first here, the question is, what is your goal? What are you really trying to accomplish? Because if you don't go into any marketing platform, let alone social media marketing, if you go into these platforms without a strategy and without a specific problem, the thing is that you could be solving issues or focusing your efforts on things that aren't actually a problem for your business, or that are maybe a problem, but it's not the big problem. So you aren't going to see really the returns that you need because you're not really focusing on the right thing. So usually it comes down to two things from my experience, which is either brand awareness or lead generation. And so, how can you figure out which one of those is? Well, if you're a real estate agent or you're a broker, you can usually split these down into two real topics. I know it can get more complicated than this, but in reality, it's either you're not getting enough leads. And when we say leads, we mean like qualified leads. We mean like real folks who are actually have an interest, not just random people. So I guess I should say qualified leads, because a lead is just somebody that you can contact, but we're talking about qualified leads here. So not enough qualified leads, or you're simply not converting them. Because if you have leads and you're converting them, then you're getting business. Now, if your problem is that, oh, I have too much business to work with, well, then you have a scaling issue. That's kind of beyond this video. But then you need to bring on a team. You need to hire folks. You need to go through that. And that is a problem. Don't get me wrong. Some people watching this video may be like, oh, I wish that was my problem. I wish scaling was my problem. When I started my business, I used to always say, I can't wait for scaling to be the issue for my business, because that will mean that I'm at a level that is, something that I want to achieve. And I've gotten to that point, and it's funny because it is still a problem, but it's a good problem. It's much better than, not having any income coming in and trying to really scrapping for business. So really, for the purpose of this video, it's either that you don't have enough qualified leads or you're just simply not converting them. So here's the thing. If you're not getting enough qualified leads, either there's a lack of knowledge, which can be the case, but usually that's remedied very quickly, or it's just simply you're not doing enough volume. So it could be volume of anything. It could be volume of ads. It could be volume of just cold reach outs. It could be volume of prospecting. Like, how many hours are you actually dedicating to prospecting every single day? That's usually what it is. I'm going to say 90% of the time it's going to be volume. From my experience with real estate agents, it's that they haven't done enough of anything to get the data to then understand what can be improved, right? You're just kind of doing enough to feel like you said you did something, but not enough to actually move forward in the process. So 90% of the time, it's usually a volume issue. It can be a knowledge issue. You cannot understand how to get in front of leads, but let's be honest, if you're a real estate agent just starting off, you're working with a broker, your broker is going to give you some, ideas. You know how to reach out to people, right? You might not be good at it, but that's different from not knowing how to do it. So, don't worry too much about unless you absolutely don't know, in which case you can watch more videos, not just from me. There's tons of information out there. Knowledge is really not a great excuse anymore, because all of our information is free, readily accessible, and presented and packaged in a way that's entertaining. So we really have nothing to complain about when we don't understand how to do a skill. If we're not good at it, then that's just because we haven't put in the reps to actually get good. So it's usually volume. Sometimes it can be knowledge, but let's say it's probably volume. We need to do more. So if you're just starting out and you don't have a large budget for ads, maybe you don't have hardly any kind of marketing budget whatsoever, that's fine, because that's what social media is so great for, is that you can connect with people completely for free. You don't have to run ads. You don't even have to make content to reach out to people. You can just target folks, ask them, hey, I'm a real estate agent. I'm looking for business. Do you know anybody who might be of interest? I'd love to, and check the laws on this. I'm not a real estate lawyer. I do not know this. But you can give incentives. You can incentivize folks for sending referrals your way, as long as it's legal, of course. I'm not saying do anything illegal, but you can incentivize people. And definitely the messaging is really important. Be like, hey, I'm so sorry to reach out. This will take 2 seconds of your time. I'm a new real estate agent. I'm just looking for to get in contact with people. Do you have any friends or family who are looking to buy or sell sometime soon, that I could reach out to? Really appreciate it either way. Stuff like that. That's much better than are you looking to buy or sell now? Contact me immediately. That just feels salesy. It feels inauthentic. It just doesn't really work nearly as well. So volume will tell you that. The really cool thing about volume is that if you do 100 reach outs and you get no replies, you're probably either not reaching out to the right person, or you're not doing a good job of reaching out to them, or maybe you're not even doing a good job of presenting your value to them, or you're just not being clear. But volume is going to tell you that. If you reach out to 100 people, you get no results, try something different. You reach out to another 100 people, you get no results, try something different. You reach out to 100 people, you finally get some people to respond, you say, cool, that worked. What other things now can I try? Can I reach out to people at a different time of day? Can I reach out to different types of people? All that stuff. You need the volume there to inform the decision so that you can start to make yourself 1% better. And then once you're 1% better over and over and over again, eventually you've done so much, you suck so little that you're actually good. That's one of my favorite sayings. So that is how you can get, if you're not getting enough leads, that's how you can solve it. We can talk about different ways to do that with social media specifically in a second. Now, if you're getting leads, let's say, and this happens, it's so funny for people who are hungry for leads. It's so funny that this is an issue for when they hear this, but it's a real issue. Is you can get too many leads. We had a real estate agent we worked with, and we had 2 weeks. We gave them ran free ads for them. They just paid for the ad spend. Which, by the way, click the link down below if you want to consult really quickly for free. Sometimes we offer that to folks. We'll run ads for them for free for like a couple weeks, see if we can get them some results, and then we discuss if it makes sense to work together. Click down below if you want to try that out, if you want to reach out, set up an appointment. But you can get too many leads. And if you get too many leads, it can be very difficult for you to actually reach out to them, right? Like if you get 100 leads, it can be really tough to actually mentally approach that list. And you need to reach out to leads quickly in order to, keep them fresh and to increase the chances that they actually convert. So you might get a lot of leads, you're just not actually converting any of them. And that's a different issue. So now, if you're not converting any of the leads, and we know that they're qualified leads, by the way, this is if you're getting a lot of leads and they're absolutely terrible, sometimes it's just tough to contact leads all the time. So sometimes they're not actually bad leads. We've worked out with people and we've gotten qualified leads for them. They say, oh, these aren't good leads. We're like, it's not that they're not good leads, it's that they're not the world's easiest leads. And that's a difference. So, if you're reaching out to people and your leads aren't like amazing off the front, that doesn't mean they're necessarily bad leads. Sometimes it's just tough to work leads. But if you're not converting them, it might also be because you're not getting qualified leads. You might be getting leads, but not people who are the most qualified, in which case it makes sense to go back and you're not getting enough qualified leads. So once you know that they're qualified and you're not converting enough of them, but you're getting enough volume, that's where it's branding or guess what? More volume. Volume's usually the answer to most questions, to most problems. But you're not getting enough volume, and that just means that you might be reaching out to people, but you haven't gotten enough volume yet to get good at closing them. By the way, personally, that's where I am too. I get plenty of leads. I'm not amazing of a salesperson. It's a skill set I'm trying to work on myself. But we get plenty of leads. And so, branding or volume, it could just be volume. You could just need more time selling to folks, working with them to become a better person to close them. That could very well be the case. Again, that's my problem. A lot of businesses go through that. Or it could be branding. This is the cool thing about social media is that you can make content for free and you can get out to tons and tons and tons of people for free. And I'm not saying millions. I mean like 1,000 people frequently seeing your content. That's a lot. And a lot of times people get 1,000 views on social media now and they're like, oh, this is nothing. That's 1,000 people. Fill a room with 1,000 people and tell me it's not a lot of people. By the way, what if you did 1,000 transactions in a year? Would you be like stupidly successful? You would be. So don't be upset if you're getting 1,000 views. That can be fine as long as they're dedicated people who could actually get value from you, who you might actually be able to work with in the near future. So branding is amazing because also branding is what's kind of called oftentimes is like a shadow funnel. If you're putting out a lot of content that helps people, and then in a different funnel, like you have like, let's say an ad, and people reach out to the ad, they see that, talk to Jill to talk about future real estate stuff. Like, who's this Jill person? Why should I trust them? And they go back, they see your content. You have tons of videos and explanations and tips and guides, and you show your worth, then people are way more likely in that first funnel to actually convert and to show up to an appointment, to jump on a phone call, to talk with you, because you have this level of proof, this level of social proof over here in your shadow funnel that gives you validity for your brand. So sometimes your lead gen process can be great, your logistics can all be good, and you just need a little bit of extra oomph, a little bit of branding power to actually help get people across the finish line. And by the way, we have a real estate client here in upstate New York who is would get about 2 transactions a month purely from videos that were all designed just to brand his brand, just to put out valuable information out there. We weren't running lead gen campaigns. We weren't running anything like that. He would just get so much volume out there. People would reach out to him. He'd get on average 2 listings a month purely from videos that just got a lot of good views. So that's super powerful right there. So branding can help you close your leads, but also you probably need volume to just get better at the skill set of closing. So that's how to figure out if what problem you might have. And so if you do have that lead problem, well, that's where you can do outreach or ads. don't even worry about content. If you're trying to get a lot of leads, then just start reaching out to people more often. Just spend 1 hour a day, Monday through Friday, 1 hour a day, reaching out to people on Facebook or Instagram, whatever. And just take your time, be like, okay, well, this person on Facebook is a part of, let's say, this group. And, especially with Facebook so powerful, you could look in and see people that you've worked with in the past, find friends of theirs and say, like, hey, I helped Tiffany close on her home last year, and I saw you were friends with her. I'm wondering if maybe, if you're looking to buy or sell a home soon, or somebody who might be interested in, I'm sure Tiffany could put in a good word for me. That's kind of a great way to get a referral without really a referral. And then guess what? They'll probably reach out to Tiffany. And if you did a good job for Tiffany, Tiffany would be like, oh yeah, James is an awesome real estate agent. You should totally work with him. Got me a great deal on my house. That is, a great way to reach out to people. And that's a cold outreach. You're just doing a good job targeting, and you can do all that on social media, which is so powerful. And we really underestimate it because we've had it for so long. And ads is a whole different thing. I mean, I have other videos about ads. I'm sure I'll make plenty more that go into details there. But ads are kind of like outreach on steroids, right? It's just an automated outreach, and instead of costing you time, it costs you money. It takes a little bit of time to build out an ad, but in reality, it's like, or if you're hiring somebody to do it for you, it just takes capital, right? So depending on where you are in your real estate journey, you can either do outreach and spend time, or you can do ads and spend money. But either way, no matter what you do in business, you're going to have to spend one of those. So that's really important if you're not getting enough leads. Now, and then brand awareness, I highly recommend video content. Just short form video content. It works on all of the major platforms, so you don't have to worry like, oh, will this work well on LinkedIn and YouTube and Instagram? Make short form 60-second videos. Pick topics that are commonly asked questions by your clients, or things that you commonly see buyers or sellers doing wrong, or things that you could help people get ready for before they're ready to work with an agent. And I've said it a million times before, but if you've helped somebody for months and months and months get ready to do their buy or sell and get ready for their real estate journey, by the time they need a real estate agent, why would they not work with you? If you've done a good job and helped them get so far, why would you not work with them? I had the same experience with a law firm. I was looking up how to build my LLC for my business and all that stuff, and I kept finding Mark J. Kohler. Shout out to Mark J. Kohler, awesome tax attorney guy, makes a great YouTube videos. And I loved it so much. I was like, man, their content's so good. It's so informative. It's helped me so much. I'm going to hire their company to do my LLC. And even though I could have gotten it for less, I trusted that entity. I trusted that brand. And I was like, I'm cool with paying a little extra money to get it done right by the folks who I know could do a good job. That was all because of his content, all because of his branding that he got me as a client. And I now refer him to more people because they did a great job. You see how that kind of works? And that's all just social media content. I include YouTube as social media content. Some people don't, but I think that doesn't make any sense. And doesn't make any sense, I should say. So, brand awareness might be your goal if you get a lot of leads, but you want them to convert better, or you want to get higher quality leads, or you just want more people to reach out to you instinctually, and not have to go through as much funnel process on the lead side. Cool. Brand awareness is your guy. Video content all day long, all the platforms. Make a lot of this content, see how well it's performing, tweak it, and keep making it better. And then eventually you'll suck so little you'll actually be good. And then leads, same thing. Outreach, tons of people, reach out to 100 people a day. I know it sounds like a lot, but if you don't have a lot of business, guess what? You have time. And if you have a lot of business and you're just trying to grow that business, then reach out to ads. Spend $100 a day. That might be a lot. You can sometimes get away with less, but $100 a day is a great metric. These are Alex Hormozy recommendations, which obviously he's a great person to reference back to. Tons of experience in most businesses. So, guys, social media content and social media marketing, it works. It fundamentally works. I promise you that it does. We know our audience is there. We know that we can reach out to them in many different ways, and we know it is scalable because guess what? In the beginning, you might have more time. You do that until you don't have enough time. And then guess what? You have more capital. If you don't have time, then you have capital. And if you don't have capital, then you have time. Because guess what? If you're not making any money, then even if you're doing a bunch of stuff, it's not generating you money. So it's kind of just a hobby, right? It's not really helping the business at all. You're just scrambling, doing stuff that doesn't actually help. So you have time in that case. And if you have a bunch of money and, or sorry, if you are getting a lot of business, then you have money. If it doesn't feel like you have money, but you're getting a lot of business and you're kind of at the top levels of how much business you can do, then you're probably spending too much or you're not charging enough. It's one of those two things. It can't be that you have no time and no money. It just doesn't work that way in the business world. So depending on those solutions, guys, it's either brand awareness or leads, and social media is great for both of those. So, guys, I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have questions down below. I love making these videos. I love trying to make social media a little bit more comprehensive for real estate agents. So definitely let me know if you have any questions. Would love to make a video about your specific needs, and we'll catch you in the next video.